Well, it looks like we might have ourselves a rally. Could that be a green light on in this room? Couldn't expect that one, especially after yesterday's crypto market. But this is just how this market is. One catalyst comes in and things turn around. We'll talk about it with Joel Elconin right here. Hit the subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Let's get into it at the close.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
3 consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
All right, let's get my man Joel Elconin on, and I have a question for Joel, and I'll use a little bit of a song to ask him here. Let's hear what he thinks. Do you remember the last time we had a bull market, Joel? Because it's been a long time since we've seen some up action. It's been a while.
It's been a long time since we've had that. One of the biggest updates in quite some time. We'll have to check the history books to figure out when that was. I mean, going back to the perhaps during the COVID crisis and the pandemic, we had up days. We had down days too in this fashion as well. My upper right chart says it all. And what that says is that we are breaking into a very area of limited resistance. No other way you can put it. We took out the high, the previous high, the move at 39.28. We're just moving quickly towards these pair of highs. I can give you the levels, and this is it. A pair of highs at 39.80. I don't know if we'll hit that today, but that's in the target. And then you get into a very interesting day, when we came down off that CPI data, there's almost a 200-point gap in the S&Ps. 200-point gap between one daily high, 39.81 and a quarter, and the next daily high, 41.75. So we took it out. Momentum, a little pushback off the open. But that 30-point decline, it just came out. And the big boys, man, the big boys came. We'll get to those issues in a second. Tesla, all the big tech are up from 6 to 12%. And then you have NVIDIA, being the NVIDIA of old, that's up 13.67%. We talked about the dollar, right? And there was just nothing between 109 and 108. There was nothing there. That's what the chart saw. That's what the charts did. And here we are, down 236. TLT, well, I don't know, Fed pivot or not. It's up 338 at 97.98. Crude just kind of hanging out. A little bit of maybe taking some of that money out of crude and going into growth. Kind of the rotation that Mitch talked about this morning, up 40 cents, 86.23. Gold having one of its best 6-day runs that I can remember, up 42.80 at 17.56 and a half. Silver trying to get in the 22 handle for the first time since June, but high 21.94, up 43 cents at 21.75. Bitcoin on the rebound just because that was a big sell-off, big step up in open interest. They moved it up, got to 17.530. The real test for Bitcoin. Can we get back over 18K and establish a base over 18K? Ethereum futures are moving up a little bit more on a percentage basis. They're getting near yesterday's high, up $134 at 12.68.
All right, today's one of those days that really, I mean, it's not going to take me much to kind of pick stocks, right? So I'm going to try to do some stocks that we're looking at. Of course, chat out there. If you guys have a mover that you guys want to take a look at, of course, throw it up. Today's one of those days where there's so many stocks that are moving and into the green that we can go into many different areas. I'm going to try to do my best to touch them all. But if you guys got anything, we'll take a look at it also. Let's start going into some of this. I think we first start at the top, right? We always talk about leadership. Let's start at it.
Right. I mean, this is where, the beaten down tech, this is what I was looking at off the open. would these stocks just roll over, right? We've saw that happen over the last couple days. Apple, just remind me, note to self, next time Apple makes a triple bottom, load up there. We filled the gap here. I can't remember. That was some iPhone news. You had a gap to fill at 145. You got to 145.39. So another big area. Not near Apple, just overall still on a relative strength basis. You know, if it was the Apple of old, it'd be at 155 right now. But now you got a little gap on the downside. And I don't know when or if that's going to be filled. Mr. Softy, this has had one of its best days in quite some time, gapping up. Nothing in here until really 250. The Googster still making new highs off the session, gap up, hasn't got to the pair of highs yet. Next target 96 and a quarter for Google. Amazon up 11.4%, 96.42. It doesn't even like a dent, does it, Mitch? Like it doesn't even look like you put a dent in that decline. But there it is. It's the first day, first update in 3 days. And then we'll finish it up with Tesla taking off the best ideas list at Wedbush Securities. That's not stopping the bulls. It's up 1090 at 188.60. That's 6.2% for Tesla.
All right, so it looks like today, you still got some value names that were up. And of course, I can take a look at that by maybe taking a look at, like, let's say, I know that home construction stocks moved up a lot today. And that was an area that isn't viewed upon often. But look at Lennar's trade today. Look at Toll Brothers, things like this. Definitely getting a nice lift. And the one that started this off, of course, was earlier in the week, the earnings from DHI, DR Horton. So definitely getting that lift. It gave it the starting the movement. And you guys can see it's continued here.
Yeah, well, if this is the Fed pivot of pivots, and then interest rates start coming down. Once again, we're really getting ahead of ourselves here with one good CPI reading, right? That's
Yeah.
correct, but it is a turning point. Uh, DHI big 2 day move, 74. It got close to 85 today. 80. Let's see what the current high. 84.05 is the current high. I don't have anything for you here on the dailies. Let's see, Toll Brothers, TOL, Gap and Go. I mean, this was one of those days, and it's the hardest thing to do. It's just, try and buy that open, or if something opens, comes down through that area, and then comes back up it, you just got to close your eyes. This one happened to open at the dead low of the day. And then what is it? We did deer. What's the other big one? KBH. KBH. I'm sure that's charts looks the same. Still really not a dent though in the monthlies compared to where we're
Yeah.
coming down from. So it's this is for interest rates. Their interest rates coming down, right? And
Yep.
they're not I don't know if they're coming down, but maybe they're stopping going up. One I like to keep an eye on, Tri Point Homes. That's having a good day as well.
All right, let's go to other names, of course, that get brought up with the tech downturn. A lot of those names fall into one industry, which is software application, right? Some of those names definitely had a good lift today. Of course, we can start with maybe like a Unity, and we can move towards some different areas like shop and maybe snow. Those definitely had good days, and maybe even some TTD action out there. All right, so Unity first, right? Getting that lift. It actually got hit yesterday afternoon after the market with their earnings. They turned this thing around on a dime. By this morning, it was already above yesterday's close. By the time CPI came out, it was rocketing. Unity with a great day there, bouncing back after the new low, just bouncing back.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. People got stuff looking at the downside here. Nice rally. We've hit 28.47. That does that come up? Does that match a high? No, you got room for this one. You've backed off a buck off that high. So 28.47, and then you got to leap up to 28, 29.18. But if you had been buying the dip, wow, how many day losing streak did this have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 day losing streak. Now getting back all of those. Wow, it's usually the other way around. But let's keep an eye 28.47 high. I don't know. I'd say room up to 29. If it can't get this continuation rally over 29, maybe the little party is over in the day. Roadblocks. Let's see what that's doing. Inside day caught a bit above yesterday's low. Actually, that one almost came near the close. That would have been one to keep an eye on. The close at 30.92, which was its lowest close in the last 5 months. But back up at 33.46. So got a ways to get back to that 39.14. That's where it was at the day before that big earnings miss.
Yeah, and there was some other areas that we're moving to. We can take a look at some solar plays. One that I was talking about earlier in the week, and it looked like we got to give my man Market Structure Edge, Tim Quas, some credit too. Run with a big run today. Solar stock.
Yeah.
Sun run.
Oh boy!
Looked
Oh
at the
boy!
sun
Oh
and
boy!
said, "I want to run."
Look at that one! Wow, that one exploded. Higher open. Didn't quite. Wow, this one came within 4 cents of the top of yesterday's range, and then off to the races. 7 point move. Whatever. Play it up. Let's play it up to 32. Several highs between 31 and a half and 32 back in September. And now it looks like you're heading back towards that area. Very good volume as well. Spoos are still ripping. I don't know, 200 handles. I don't know what I've seen. A 200 handle gain, 200 and a quarter, 201. I'll tell you, maybe we will get to that 39.80 level. I mentioned, I believe it was 30. The reason I say 39.80 is because I'm splitting a couple here. Where those highs that we are splitting are from 30. Wow, where is this? Let me go to my chart here. 3977.50. Your high on September 15th. Your high the previous day, 3981 and a quarter. That's when we had the huge drop off of the 200-point decline off the August reading of the CPI data. So, man, getting some air in between there. But right now, heavy focus is called 39.80, pair of highs from September 14th to 15th.
Not bad moves there. And solar, looks like solar got a lift today off of also California proposal on rooftop solar subsidies. So we'll see what happens
And
there.
CSIQ, the one CSIQ, remember that one we were talking about?
I mean, we weren't wrong. 35 was a great level to watch.
That was a breakout. That was a little breakout. 3 highs in the same area. Got to get rid of that line now and move it up to 38. 2 highs at 38. That's your next upside target for CSIQ, Canadian Solar Inc.
All right, let's keep going. Let's go to maybe what about Rivian? As this is not maybe one of the stocks that just completely broke out today. And that leaves me questioning that maybe this is also one that could turn back to the downside, as it is getting a lift, but not as big as a breakout as some of the other stocks out there.
Just a real pesky area. The Bulls have their work cut out for them. Pair of highs at 33.50 area. Today you hit 33.52. I'm not going to worry about that 33.76 high on the second, but it catches a bit above this 33.50. You might have another $3. Next daily high, 36.45. So big area, 33 and a half. We'll keep an eye on that. 4 shares of Rivian Motor Group.
We'll have to keep watching to see what happens. Now, one thing I did note, and I was watching the CMA Fed tool, and it looks like, at least for all the traders that were banging the drum that 50 basis points were going to happen in December, seems like they definitely, even the CME Fed tool now agreeing. Now, 75 basis point outlook for December is down to just 14.6%. So that just shows us that the pace, at least from what they're seeing, CME Fed tool is starting to slow down, at least on the hike rates. We'll just have to wait and see. And of course, we'll have to wait and see the PCE report. That's going to be in early December, right? We also got another meeting. And of course, the CPI print in December to look forward to. That's going to be December 13th. So a lot to take a look into. And of course, we'll see what happens in the next December meeting for the FOMC.
Yeah, and another thing too is earnings. Earnings don't
Yeah.
start until after January. I looked it up, and you don't have J.P. Morgan coming out until after the first of the year. So the tape bombs, right, are at least with the earnings season out of the way. That doesn't mean that companies can't come out and warn. But where's the bad news going to come from? No analysts are going to be coming out and downgrading this market. The market's going up. So interesting thing. What tape bombs? Crypto, if that can hold steady, we got hit with it. I think another thing that's adding to the momentum here is the kind of day that we had yesterday. Like, what if you were planning to buy the dip before this CPI report, and that was your plan, and then Bitcoin falls out of bed and the market gets killed, closes on the lows. You're like, forget it. And now look at it. Got to just stick with the plan. Now we are 456 handles off that October low. And I said we may be at a generational low. You guys fought with me. And the farther we get away from it, the better it looks. Going to be 500 handles by the time at this pace sometime tomorrow. We're going to kiss for it. We don't know. We don't know anything. Boom.
It's going to be a tough market here now because you're going to have a lot of people feeling the FOMO, feeling the buy the dip mentality. And now I think, how do you not have the bears running, right? I mean, we're getting out of a kind of a trend here. We're seeing the big stocks come back. Value names continue today. It wasn't like the value names just got sold off, because that's another area that I was going to keep watch, right? Was healthcare just going to fall off the tape, right? We've been seeing healthcare weak. Well, healthcare continued strong today. Diagnostics and research up 8% today. Stocks like TMO, even off the bottom of the chart, a stock that's looking like it's just breaking down, bouncing back today, 7%. Stocks like this, even if stocks like this in healthcare can't go, well, definitely the leaders in healthcare are going to continue pushing. You guys can take a look at that from today. You got AbbVie continuing, Pfizer trying to make that next move, Johnson & Johnson trying to push to the next high. Just seems to me like if value is not turning away, they're going to start buying up a little bit of growth. Well, path to least resistance to me.
It's just dependent. What's the rotation? Now looks like it's buy everything.
Buy everything, right?
Really, everything's. I mean, don't have many days like this. Yesterday, sell everything day. Today, buy everything. I mean, even gold's participating. The weak dollar is helping things a lot. But just keep an eye on, there could be, if stocks didn't make an high for the week, or, just came up shy of some of the highs earlier in the week, really important to get follow through those. And now we're at 39.60. That's 204 handle gain. I might be wrong. We may get to 39.80 today, and then that would be that'd be one juicy target. This has to be one of the big, but let's go. Do we have any laggards out there?
I can look for them, but there's not much. I mean, pretty much everything started getting the motor going. I mean,
is there anything in your down filter?
I could take a look. I mean, I'm sure there is something, but I mean, there's not much, because if I look at it and I can think about it in this sense, I have what here, and I'm going to give you guys, because I have the S&P 500. I have 16 out of 498 items for the S&P 500. Looks like I'm missing 2 stocks there, but 16 in the red, the rest of them in the green. That's market breath. And that breath ain't kicking. It's looking good. It's that cool breath to the upside because looks like red hot because the market's red hot right now. Names that were in the red today, something to keep in mind.
Mickey D's.
Maybe, Mickey
Mickey
D's. Yeah, Mickey D's in the red. But that's already been ripping, right? Kind of one of the
new
stocks taking a pause.
Yeah, new all-time high. Yeah, new all-time high. And a pause. So what's important with this one is what was that all-time closing high? This is what we'll be focusing on tomorrow. 281.87 was that new all-time high made today. 278.40. That was your all-time closing high. That was made on Tuesday. So adjust your targets down from that high from today in 280 and a quarter. And we'll be focusing on 278.40 on the upside.
Now, someone asked us a good question. Beans was asking why could maybe Altria Group be down today? And it doesn't explain much because the rest of the whole industry is in the green in tobacco. The only one that's in the red today is that Altria Group. So that tells me a lot. And the chart looks very bearish. So might be one that you might want to stay away.
Just some profit taking. What I would say, if you would ask about the morning, I would say, what are we doing on the monthlies? And what the monthlies are telling you is last month you hit 46.77. You've come up short this month, right? You only so you got a potential double top on the monthlies. Also, you go back to August, you had a high right in that area too. So boom, X marks the spot here. That's what you need. So this could definitely just be a little pullback, some profit taking, but I wouldn't look at this thing to get any jets to the upside until you can clear the 46.77 high, which was matched, in two other. It was matched this month, and then it was also matched in August. We are now in the 39.60 handle, folks. We are up 206 handles. 206 and a half handles at the high of the day at 29.62.
Someone said, I was convinced the Fed wanted us poorer, much poorer. Hopefully not. Hopefully that's not the news out there.
Another thing too, like the Fed speak, and what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, it started out pretty benign, right? And then someone said something about the market. And
the guy that had, options calls, asked like, why is the market moving up?
There he has puts because he wanted him to go down. And he said he basically, didn't care about the market. And it's, the pivoting on a statement like that put a lot of nervousness in the market. That brought us off the high. But, as I was listening to his testimony, I mean, and what they said, I mean, it's kind of what the path that the market is, that dependent data. I don't know if he had these numbers in his pocket last week and, so he figured he'd talk down the market ahead of the rally. But, it's hard to put too much emphasis on, the questions and the things that are happening. But I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do to keep the market down now. That the buck is down over 108. That's 2.2%. And the S&P is the only thing I think is going to stop this rally is the closing bell. And then you just have the after hours and pre-market after hours trading. Someone said Bitcoin just popped 350. Well, I'll see. We'll go to the chart. And it did. It just did. Popped. You got to keep an eye. I don't know if it's the last couple minutes. That's a big move. But we'll see. 18K, folks. We'll be keeping an eye on that.
Definitely. I mean, it just goes to show us that that correlation is still existing, right? Where Bitcoin, if you're looking at that price, you could also use it for the SPY. You can use probably the SPY and also look at Bitcoin. Until that correlation truly changes, it's something to keep in mind. Also, we still know that in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, at least, there's still a lot of uncertainties, right? We got some nice positive catalysts in the SPY and the overall market inflation data today. Now, let's keep an eye out on that Bitcoin because we know that one trades 24/7 and could always turn around in the after hours, right? So you never know what can happen. Just want to keep that in mind for everyone to remember their risk. But it looks like today, at least not a bad close at all for me on the SPY. I can look at the weeklies and I can see volume increasing as we've been going down here in the 360s, showing me more and more. I think that at least some money managers definitely probably position themselves close towards that bottoming of 360. Maybe even getting in on that pullback that we talked about, the 50% retracement, the 370 area. And then boom, now you got yourself a rally to kind of hang your hat on.
All right, I don't know if Bees Rice has correct information, but FTX, if that is breaking news, I don't know. I mean, that would definitely, I don't have it yet. I don't think it's in pro yet. Uh, but if that would definitely be the cause for that last point. If they can secure financing, that would definitely help out, at least help people get some of their money out of there. But wild day for Bitcoin, wild day for the markets. Do you want to finish up with a couple symbols here from the chat, or do you got other ones that you wanted to cover?
Yeah, I don't mind taking from the chat. If we can maybe do that as I just throw up, I would just throw up ARKK because I think that little undercut
You want to look at
and rally
ARKK?
play. Yeah, I feel like the undercut and rally play is not looking too bad here now because you did get your undercut day. You were down there, and now you're really quickly back towards that 35. Now towards 37 on there.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Let's see, Matthew here. Mhm. Yep, it's at a good area here, and I'd say 37.30. That's your current high. 37.24, 37.34. In fact, it can clear that level with some gusto. The next daily high doesn't come in to 39.19, so that's a big move off the low. The gap and go for Kathy. I'm sure she'd really like to see that bid and bid well above 37.40.
All right. Looks like the chat's calling out CCL. Well, they didn't do too bad, I'll tell you that much. Let's take a look at the cruise lines as they were getting some lift today.
Yeah, what's
And
going on with
Carnival
the cruise
Cruise.
lines? Well,
I
that's
mean, Carnival's
yeah.
the
Woo,
least
that's a good
appreciated
day.
one. Least appreciated one, I would say, is Carnival.
Mhm.
The other two actually look a little bit stronger, Royal and Norwegian. But that could be the leader laggard play, right? If they continue into the green, the other ones, why not maybe think of Carnival as the laggard in this industry?
Let's see here. You got to think about $10, $10, in this one. Even though, I mean, you got a high right here at 985. You match that today, still feels pretty strong. So keep an eye on 10. No exact highs at 10, 993. But once that gets above 10, we had look for 1050 and more. Uh, First day of you can't underestimate. First day of a 2-day move. Let's look at RCL, Royal Caribbean, making a new high for the move. Gap and go. That's a good sign for RCL. NCLH, which was been the leader. Can't get back up to the high of the move, but that thing also went from $11 at the beginning of October to over 18. So we're closed, Mitch, and one heck of a day on Wall Street, thanks to
Yeah.
weaker inflation, SPAC's major rally, and we're in the area of limited daily resistance, folks. So be careful out there. I'm out of here, Mitch. I'll let you finish things up.
All right, Joel's getting out of here, guys. And I will tell you guys, we have a good opportunity for you guys today. After this show, of course, we got Crypto Insiders. But after that, I want to tell you guys a little bit about a tax event that I'm going to actually be hosting too. I'm going to be there. I want you guys to tune in also. Dr. Jerry Allison is going to walk us into a look into taxes, right? What can you be doing? What are different types of strategies you guys can be looking at? Don't miss it. That's going to be at 4:30 today. In just half an hour. Don't miss it, team. I'll see you there with Dr. Jerry. I'll be there. The question is, will you? Hit the thumbs up. And it's going to be right here on Benzinga. You don't got to go anywhere. Maybe go check out Cannabis Insider and then go ahead and get into some tax talk conversation. I want to hear what he has to say. I myself am looking for ways to kind of benefit, right? How do we go ahead and attack taxes as a trader? Well, find out 4:30 today. Don't miss it. I'll definitely be there. Will you?